Every shoot, there's always something that I like and something that I kind of didn't like about it. And that's kind of the part of progress, figuring out what were those elements I was like, wow, that did really great. And okay, what were those things that we could have improved on?
Today, the actors came in pretty early to get ready and set up. And what's nice is we had everything figured out the day before, or 2 days, even 2 days before. So it was really nice where we just came in and talked to the actors, gave them an update on what needed to be done, and gave them some time to kind of like rehearse. And then we got into it. We stayed on track, in fact, we're ahead of schedule. We'll probably finish really early today. Which is always nice to have. It's like if I could have every project end early, it'd be nice.
So we had 2 days to film the whole entire thing. The planning between each shot was so precise. We were able to not only finish on time, we were actually able to wrap 2 hours early. We prioritized the modules that were the longest. We've kind of learned always execute on the hardest or longest thing first, because by the time you start getting towards the end of a shoot, you are so much more tired that it's the worst time to do the hard things. It's the best time to do the easier things.
But yeah, so I just made sure everything was done on set yesterday. Weston and I went back home and edited together a rough cut of one of the modules and then one of the or the beginning intro, just to see how well it looks. And one of the things that I really enjoy in this setup, then right before we film, or right before the camera pushes record, we have the slate go up first, and then we get confirmation from everyone to know that they're ready. So the camera's like, I'm ready, the audio says I'm ready. Audio starts recording first, and then the camera starts recording. And the slate's already up before the camera starts recording, which means that it's the first frame you see in editing, which saves so much time.
Camera set.
Roll.
Speeding. Camera speed.
Scene A, shot 1B, take 1.
Okay, and 3, 2, 1, action.
If you haven't had client requests for reporting and filing crypto taxes already.
And just cut. Finished a rough cut of one of the modules last night within 10 minutes, So because we didn't have to find the beginning, it was just like right there. So
We wanted to make sure that every time the camera rolled, the slate was the first thing the editor saw. Previously, when we've done stuff, it's kind of, sometimes the camera starts rolling and the slate gets up there a few seconds later, and it hasn't been too big of an issue. But because of the sheer amount of footage we were dealing with for this one, 212 different shots, which really meant 212 lens changes, which is spread throughout 15 different modules. And to be able to keep that efficient, so we weren't losing time with each lens change, this communication pattern came in super handy.
On Chirp, it was a completely different story, because we're just trying to figure out that whole system, and the camera would start recording before the slate would go up. So the camera just like goes on. The filming goes on forever before you finally just like, all right, and action.
The thing that I loved the most about Profit Stance was our team really focused on communication on set. We had the opportunity to visit someone else's set, and one of the things that we noted that was really efficient was their way of communication, of the order of how do we communicate that a shot's ready, the makeup's ready, the slate guy's ready, all that stuff. So we'd adapted it for the way we were doing this shoot. There was 55 pages of dialogue with 2 different individuals delivering the dialogue. Because we needed the individuals to read off a teleprompter and we always wanted them looking into the camera, we couldn't have 2 cameras, because as soon as you switch to the second camera, all of a sudden it's, they're not looking at it. So what we did to go from our close to our wide is we would do a lens change in between each shot. And so now not only do we have different sections, different modules within those sections, we also have each individual shot that has a lens change. And we needed to make sure we could communicate to our editors effectively, since we were dealing with so many different elements.
This is probably the easiest setup so far, the easiest project. knock on wood, and there hasn't been any hiccups, and it's been really nice. I almost feel like this could be The Office.
That's what I've been feeling. So it's so weird to say that because I've been actually doing like the zoom in, zoom outs like The Office.
One of the things that made the biggest difference for us was choosing to have Andrew, one of our lead writers, run the teleprompter. Since our team was not involved in the writing process, the company who had hired us had hired a educational developer to write the educational content, and it was then passed on to us only a few days before shoot. So we quickly had to go through and turn it into a shootable format and didn't have a lot of time to read through all 55 pages and check for mistakes or errors or things that didn't quite match up. And there was a ton of things that Andrew was able to catch because of his expertise in writing and his expertise with words. There was a lot of things that when they got pronounced, they sounded fine to me. I'm not much of a pronunciation type person. And Andrew was able to catch them and help us figure out proper ways to pronounce things. For example, indexes. That's not a word. Indices is the proper word. It was amazing to see how making that decision to hire someone who had talents way above and beyond just running a teleprompter, how that came to be a benefit to the production and really in the end helped us to run through it very quickly, helped us to solve problems super efficiently and precisely. In the end, the shoot was extremely successful. It looked great. It sounded great. We finished ahead of time and everybody had a wonderful time. It's gonna take me like an hour to get the
I got you back, don't worry.
Trying to be quiet between.
Okay, slates up.
Set.
Roll.
Speeding. Camera speed.
6.18, take one. Guess I should clap.